I will start my reading practice from the book Magic Words. As one researcher noted, if we just look at the words that were used by the officer, we can predict the race of the person that they were talking to about two-thirds of the time. While white motorists are more likely to hear something like, "There you go, ma'am, drive safe, please," or "No problem, thank you very much, sir." Black motorists tended to hear something quite different. Phrases like, "Can I see the driver's license again?" or "Alright, my man, do me a favor. Just keep your hands on the steering wheel real quick." Taken together, these seemingly small differences added up to pervasive racial disparities. The Stanford study raises a host of important questions. It's easy to call police officers racist or point to this as evidence that the police are out to get African Americans, and that is certainly one way to see the results. But the truth is likely both subtler and more complex. Some individual officers may be racist, and given the broader actions of individual officers in particular high profile cases, this is almost certainly the case. But regardless, even if it is not intentional, a much larger portion of officers are treating white and black people differently. Most officers likely mean well and are simply doing the best they can in difficult situations. But whether they realize it or not, and whether they mean to or not, the words they use differ. And this makes the underlying problem even more challenging to solve. Because it's one thing to identify a few bad officers, to root out the bad apples and get rid of them, but changing ingrained stereotypes, associations, habits, and responses of hundreds of thousands of officers require much more effort. The good news, though, is that language can help, because even if almost all officers mean well and are trying to do the right thing, their language helps identify areas for improvement, places where, even if they did not realize it, they are treating people differently. And by identifying even unintentional bias, hopefully things can be nudged in the right direction. Epilogue. Throughout the book, we have talked about the power of magic words, how the words we use and the way we use them can have a big impact on our happiness and success, helping us persuade others, deepen social bonds, and communicate more effectively. First, we talked about the language of identity and agency. How, rather than just conveying requests or information, words can indicate who is in charge, who is to blame, and what it means to engage in a particular action. We learn how to increase our influence by turning actions into identity. That is, help our vote to voter, stick to our goals by changing can'ts into don'ts, and be a more creative problem solver by turning coulds into shoulds. We explore why talking to ourselves can be a helpful tool to reduce anxiety and improve performance, and when words like "you" are helpful versus detrimental. Second, we discussed the language of confidence, how beyond communicating facts and opinions, words communicate how certain we are about those facts and opinions. We discovered why the way lawyers talk can be just as important as the facts they share, how to speak with power, and why we should turn past into presents. That is why saying a restaurant has rather than had great food will make other people more likely to go there. Along the way, we learn the words that make communicators seem more credible, trustworthy, and authoritative, and when it's better to seem certain versus express doubt. When to ditch hedges, example may or I think, and hesitations and when they might not be as detrimental. Third, we explored the language of questions. While we often think of questions as simply helping us collect information, they do a lot more. We learned why asking for advice can actually help make us seem more competent, and why speed daters who ask more questions are more likely to get a second date. But beyond the benefits of questions in general, We also learned which type of questions are most effective and the right time to ask them, why follow up questions are particularly beneficial, how to use questions to deflect, and how to ask questions that avoid assumptions, and how to deepen social bonds with anyone, from strangers to colleagues, by asking the right questions in the right order. That is, start safe, then build. Thank you. That's it for the day.